I smell live people. How many of you love the smell of live people? Well, I want to thank all of you who are here today, who are present, who made a way or found a way to be here through weather or family crisis or any obstacles. You showed up here to plug into the energy, so thank you. All right, so here we are at leadership, or is it lead your ship? You know, we have all had to navigate our ship into new uncharted waters in the last 2.5 years. How many of you remember where you were when the world shut down? I had just gotten back from Europe, finishing a 7-day beauty event and had over 1,000 leads that just got pushed aside. So many of you pivoted very quickly, and as the captain of your ship, you sailed your ship into uncharted waters with tremendous faith to keep going. While others of you watched those ships and kind of tagged alongside as you sailed your ship. But pretty soon, the words of Mary Kay echoed into all of us that we all know. If you have an idea, and I have an idea, and you share yours, and I share mine, we have 2 ideas. The Mary Kay family community came to life brighter than ever. Okay, remember these days, we had Zoom, and we still do. Zoom, screen sharing, muting, chat sections, unmuting, swivel chairs, ring lights, samples, dressed professionally from the waist up. Facebook Live, live streaming, all became our new normal. And pivot became our world, and oh, must I remind you of how Ryan, Mary Kay's family, Nathan, David Hall, kept us in business because we were essential under the government standards of today. So please give it up for Mary Kay and Mary Kay family. I can't even imagine, and I don't even want to, the what ifs. Like, what if none of that had happened? Thank you to our amazing company for the e-start, the sample packs. Yes, the e-start. How many of you love the e-start? The sample packs, the discounted product specials that launched to keep us rolling. And never did I ever, in my 40 years of being in Mary Kay, ever think that there would be a $30 option to start a Mary Kay business. Oh my gosh, this is an amazing company, and yes, let's give them another round of applause. I think that we were all in survival mode, and we became very creative in how we got samples of products to people and mailing them around the United States while the company was trying really hard to keep up with the demands of all of us for all the samples. I actually remember talking to the company. They said we went through what we did in 6 months. We went through 6 months of samples in just 2 weeks. So that was a lot. Production was trying to keep up with all of us. And we were like, Mary Kay, we were like a large bullet train on a mission, weren't we? The company kept trying to be up with us as we were sending more samples out. But it was absolutely amazing to see how we all pivoted, and everybody pivoted a little bit different. Now, we all know the story of Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, and how she was on her way on the yellow brick road to see Oz. And like all of us, she found many detours along the way. She fell asleep in the land of poppies. She got taken out and captured by the flying monkeys. And how many of you felt like you were flying around with the monkeys at the beginning? Trying to just figure it out, exactly. But like Dorothy, we always had the power within us to go home. We just had to hold on hands together, laugh at our new presentations, and just learn how to figure it out. In my 40 years of having my Mary Kay business, I've literally had seasons, like many of you, where we had to roll up our sleeves. And we had to jump into the trenches. And we had to work. And then I've had seasons where we got to coast. And boy, I loved those coasting seasons. They were the best. But it's only because I rolled up my sleeves and jumped into the trenches did I have that time. And right now, we are still in that pumping season. We need to keep our sleeves rolled up. We will come out stronger as we open back up because we all rolled up our sleeves. Just imagine right now the successes that all of you will have if you will just roll up your sleeves when you go home and go into the trenches and go to work. Let's all pump as much as we can between now and our 60th anniversary, right? All right, so I'm going to ask the audience, if you debuted as an independent sales director in the last 2.5 years, will you please stand? Stay standing. Stay standing. If you are a sales director here who's had your best year ever during the pandemic, would you please stand? Now, if you debuted as a national sales director in the past 2.5 years, will you please stand? Everybody stay standing. All right, look. Look at all the successes we have. Because we pivoted, because we pumped, because we rolled up our sleeves and we went to work. Well, here we are, 2.5 years later, and actually we kind of have the best of both worlds. We kind of have a new normal. So how do we shift back again? How do we navigate? Well, first I want to share my thoughts about the virtual, the hybrid world. And this is what I kind of looked at when all this happened. I found myself repeating myself a lot. I was on Zoom a lot. So I decided to create many little videos in my national area so that they could use if samples were sent out and they couldn't get on a virtual event, so that they would have the videos of the time-wise repair, the 3D, if they couldn't get on. They could just send out the live instructional video. Then, I started storing those videos on my private national website. Like, here's some of the ones we did. What to send out in a packet. We all did that. How to close your party virtually. How to invite guests to virtual events. Virtual victory was my favorite, was how to set up your office. How to get a ring light, how to position your ring light, what your background should and shouldn't look like. I did product preview events where I showed products. I grabbed videos and oh my gosh, this was so great. The Video Lounge, by the way, for all of you, is a wealth of great videos. And I would take some of those professional videos and weave them into my presentations to help me look more relevant and professional today. I hosted product events like many of you did, and I try to do fun events like with Kate Spade giveaways or Kendra Scott giveaways, and of course, Mary Kay giveaways too. I had to equip my national area back then because I wanted them to understand what we were doing. And pretty soon, the guests also loved to win. They were winning lots of things on our presentations. At the end of our presentations, I would ask people to come off the mic, and when we drew winners, and share where they had come in from, and what they learned, and what they heard. But this was so great because the consultants, they learned so much by hearing the comments of the guests. So it was so great. The chat section, oh my gosh, chat sections were constantly in motion as the guests felt led to ask questions, and of course, we answered the questions also. It was amazing how even sales directors were answering questions in the chat sections. The number of people that were on each week was amazing to me. Sometimes we would have 10 or 15 states represented by women at one time. Maybe there were 30 people, maybe there were 20, but some of our area virtual events went from 200 to 700 people in a week. But more importantly, the beauty consultants who were on learned about the products and how to use them and what to say, because they heard the information constantly over and over again about how to share our amazing products, and it made them more confident. So I think we got a lot out of that. I created closing sheets for each event that the beauty consultants could text out after the event, and pretty soon they were creating their own. I saw so many of you sales directors start holding your own parties virtually and invite new beauty consultants on there to watch, so they got to see the show procedure and closing. Now, I will say, from our sharing events, what we started 2.5 years ago, came the many stories weekly from our independent national sales directors on how they began their journey. For each week, a different story was shared by a national. So the beauty consultants got to hear and relate to one of the many stories they heard. I want to totally thank the more than 100 national sales directors who jumped on our Thursday sharing events. In 2021, we actually counted how many attended our virtual sharing events, and it was thousands. In fact, that year, we added over 900 brand new beauty consultants from those sharing events. And pretty soon, national sales directors everywhere were doing these events. There were Winning Wednesdays, Peek into Pink, sharing events. We were doing all of that. But there is no way that any of us NSDs would have ever been able to have beauty consultants and sales directors from our national areas in front of that many sales directors in a year. Thanks to Zoom and other platforms, beauty consultants education now was done by their sales directors. So as you remember, we used to have the adoptee system, and we still do, but we would send our new beauty consultants to the adoptee. And now the relationship, because she got to meet her and talk to her and see her, the relationship between the beauty consultant and the sales director, I believe, became tighter because you got to relate and to see them and to talk to them, which was great. We created this little thing with the new beauty consultants pins because it was like, how do we pin new consultants? So we got a little box, we got a pink rose, we stuck the beauty consultant pin inside the pink rose, put the little poem on them, and patched them out. Because we had to get those pins out somehow. And we always had 20 sample packets ready to go. Team building for new beauty consultants also became easier as they had their guests jump on our sharing events. The beauty consultants then were able to learn a little bit more how to share the opportunity. Being on the sharing events, they got to hear the words over and over and over again. So it helped them become better recruiters. And thanks to the company's, by the way, Great Start program, we need to give them a round of applause for that. The Great Start program, it gave us the opportunity to stay super focused on helping them to follow up. And that was really great. And also get them into red. And by the way, first-time reds still needs to be our focus. First-time reds still need to be our focus. This is the beginning of the movement in your unit. Hosting fun events and things that capture attention back then also too was the key to get participation. And I want to say thank you to Kristen Sharp for all of her many amazing fun events that she did. I think a few weeks ago there were 9,000 people on that virtual event. Unbelievable. But I did find this, for all of you out there as sales directors, I found that being consistent on a weekly basis made a difference. Having virtual calendars and being consistent where your people could count on you, the same at different times, but I mean the same night all the time. So being able to schedule those events on the same day so that they could count on you. So be consistent. That was really the key. I saw so many sales directors in our area and others come to life. In fact, 2 of my sales directors who are here with us today earned, at the very early on during COVID, earned 2 cars in less than a year. Mary Beth Costello and Sherry Ryder. And so many of you guys were just jumping all over the place. Okay, so now, here's the question. So now how do we weave in going back to live events? Because we really do have the best of both worlds. It's not one or the other. And so now our ship is sailing into new waters again.
Yes.
So first, let's get back to the basics. And Kimberly spoke so great of that too. But we do. We need to get back to the basics and talk about being open. There are many, many beauty consultants out there who signed their agreement during the virtual world time. And that's all they've seen. They need to see a live skincare class, how to open and close a skincare class, how to pack for a class, how to set up a tray and mirror, how to demonstrate products correctly. This is crucial for all of our brand new beauty consultant success. So that you all need to teach them how to go back out and do that. Teach them the importance of personal, not virtual relationships, but that's what our company was founded upon, is the relationships that we build face to face. Start doing skincare classes where those women can come and watch. Create a video for them who are not local to you so that you can send out to them so they can see how you do a live presentation. And I think it's important that we talk to our beauty consultants in your unit and also for you to brand yourself. You know, when I get out of my pink Cadillac and I walk in a store, nobody knows I do Mary Kay. So talk about branding yourself. Branding is so important today and so big. Do you have a Mary Kay t-shirt? A beauty coat? When you go to work out, do you have a baseball cap? A t-shirt? A hat? What are you wearing? Let people know that you're doing Mary Kay. When people see them, how will they tell that you're not a Mary Kay beauty consultant unless you wear something? Teach our business beauty consultants also how to hand out a card and the follow-up that comes from that. The speed of the leader, as Mary Kay always said, is the speed of the game. How many of you would love to have 3 of you in your unit? Some of you would like to just have 1 of you in your unit. So how many business cards will you be handing out? My model for 2023 is if it is to be, it's up to, let's try that again. If it is to be,
it's up to me.
Yeah, exactly. So we all need to take charge. We really do. Now, I'm so glad that these directors are here today in this arena, but I may not have this story 100%, so excuse me if I don't, but I'm glad Brittany's here. I already talked about this, but I recently interviewed Brittany Janis, $1 Million Sales Director, where she shared this story. Brittany was at a restaurant and saw Lindsay Freisteller running around as a waitress. But Brittany, being the smart businesswoman she is, handed Lindsay her business card and offered her a facial. Called her the next day. I said, called her the next day. And Lindsay proceeded to tell her how busy she was. But Brittany was such a smart director that she booked her anyway. Brittany facialed her and recruited her. And because she was persistent and followed up, that one card exchange turned into $1 million director. One card. So here's the deal. You must have cards, you must have a pen, and then you must call and not text and book the person. Yes. Can you imagine if Brittany hadn't done that? We wouldn't have Lindsay today. So she recruited $1 million director. What if the next business card you hand out could be $1 million director? Yes. So you have to remember that. Yep. You need to follow up. I was recruited 40 years ago by a woman who just came in for products for herself and some few of her friends, and I'm the only person she ever brought in to this company. I'm it. The power of one. She just turned 91.
Wow.
Today we need to be back at community events, chamber events, business events, bridal expos. We owe it to Mary Kay and this company to let everyone to see how bright our light still is today and what the Mary Kay opportunity and the products have to offer and how we are relevant for today. Because we are. We need to be back out delivering products the way we can with a little note and a cute bag and samples inside. Be back out meeting prospects for coffee like we all used to do and building those tight relationships that this company was founded upon. Having red jacket events, star events, pizza and possibilities. Be creative. Get gatherings. Again, we need to be back out with our beauty consultants and building our units. An example of having the best of both worlds today is if you meet a woman and she says, I don't know anybody, I just moved here, and all my hundreds of friends and family all live in Texas and I live in California. Well, this is when you can say, great, I will send them all skincare packets and we can jump on virtually. You see, there is virtually no excuse not to be successful today. All right, I want to close today by giving you a few lessons that I've learned the past 2.5 years for those of you who are note takers. Are you ready? Number 1, let failure be your friend We have all stumbled the last 2.5 years. Many of you did 40 takes before you even felt comfortable to do a video on your own private Facebook page.
Yes.
I asked some of my key consultants to do a video and send it to me. They were hilarious. We all did that. But we've also picked each other up by sharing ideas with each other. Number 2, remember you learn more in the valley than you do on the mountaintop. So if you're on the mountaintop, breathe a little, and then go back to the valley. Roll your sleeves up, you guys, and we need to go to work. School is never out for the pro, always be learning. Number 3, we all got here with the help of others. We didn't get there at the top by ourselves. Number 4, remember, you are in a leadership role, so be others focused. Every day, ask yourself, who in my unit can I offer to help and equip and move forward? Post more about what your people in your unit are doing than what you are doing. My independent elite national sales director, Emily McLaughlin, always said that we are in a relationship building business. Relationships with beauty consultants in your national area and helping them to move forward is so important. Number 5, remember the decisions that you make as a sales director are not just decisions for you or about you, but for your unit members. And they need to see you as the leader. They came into your unit to be led, so lead by example. Hold parties, book from your leads, recognize beauty consultants' achievements, teach them by example. Be on time, these are my pet peeves. Be on time, wear your suit as if Mary Kay was sitting next to you. Sorry, that was not on that speech, but I just put that in. Be where you're supposed to be. To the sales directors, I want to say there is a big dream waiting for you on this seminar stage, and you just need to step into it. You are the captain of your ship. Yep. So I want you to ask yourself here at Leadership, what are you resisting? What are you pushing against? What are you not allowing? What are you blocking to keep you from your successes? We all have to embrace what we have today. Become a master at virtual and in-person events. Learn, fall down, and pick yourself back up. I want all the sales directors to go home and make these next 6 months your best ever, ever. To the DIQs, I would like you to stand because we're so grateful that you are all here with us today. Your best ever as you debut as brand new sales directors on stage at seminar as Mary Kay launches into our 60th anniversary. And Red Jackets, you are going to be picked up by flying monkeys and you are going to get off the yellow brick road. As soon as you get home, it might happen. But you've got to stay focused. I want you to take the hand of your sales director and her belief in you. And lastly, go ahead and sit down. And lastly, I want to thank all my NSD sisters. Yes, I want to thank all my NSD sisters and the amazing staff for standing strong through the craziest storm I have ever seen in my Mary Kay history. We just held on to each other, prayed, and just jumped into the water together. I can't wait to see all of you in Dallas live at seminars. We celebrate Mary Kay's 60th anniversary. Thank you.
Let's hear it again for National Sales Director Janis Trude.